In this tutorial we are going to see the basics of SQL injection. So SQL injection is a code injection technique, and it is mainly used to attack data driven applications by executing SQL statements in a different way. The queries are inserted into an entry field for execution. Some tools can even dump the whole database contents to the attacker. Let's see with an example. Here we have created a web application with SQL injection vulnerability. So let's log out and let's try to log in. Without the username and password. And before that, we need to know something about the SQL injection. So the SQL injection is mostly known as an attack vector for websites, but can be used to attack any type of SQL database. The attacker retrieves information from the database and can spoof identity, tamper with existing data. He can cause issues such as voiding transactions or changing balances, allow the complete disclosure of all data on the system. He can destroy the data or make it otherwise unavailable to the users, and he can become the administrator of the database. So in this first example, we are going to log into the account without using any username and password, and for this we are going to use a query. And let me first show you the query. We are going to use a single quotes or a one in a single quotes is equals to 1. So this is the query we are going to use for username and password. So let's type that single quotes or 1 in single quotes is equals to single quotes 1, and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste the same in the password. So once we do this, we can click the submit button. What it will do is it will log into the very first account in the database. So here Moses is the first user, and what happens is the query that we have injected in the username and password bypasses the actual text, and it selects the first user from the database. Now let's see with another example. I'm going to log into the account using the username Josh and password Josh. So we are going to search for an user. Here there is a text box with a search button, and what we are going to do is to enter a number and search for the user. It's saying that ID 1 is Moses and ID 2 is Alicia, and likewise if you put some other number, it says that you don't have access to the protected information. That means the code is trying to protect some of the users by adding some restrictions to the input. But what we can do is we are going to use the same kind of SQL injection query that we have already used in the username and password example. We are going to bypass the input, and we are going to select, and we are going to insert some other query that can confuse the SQL database to display all the data. So single quotes and or single quotes, or you can use A equals to A. What this query will do is it displays all the available informations from the database without particularly mentioning any user ID. Here you can see that we have all the information from the database. The ID is no number, and it says the query, and here we can get all the users using that SQL query. Moving to the next example, This is an example. It may see somewhat hard for the new users, but it is very easy once you get to understand it. In this example, we can see this page is displaying all the employees of the company. Now you can see the name, their ID, and their roles in the company. But what we are going to do is we are going to get some other information from the database, for for which we are going to use a different SQL query. Let me show you on the home page. We are going to use union all select query, and what will happen is this is the query that we have already written in the code, and this query will be appended with the previously existed query, and it will make a new query like this. So let's see with that example. So I'm going to select all the admins, or else all the employees, or else the technical persons. Likewise, we can do anything. And what we are going to do is I'm going to add a single quotes, and I'm going to use plus for instead of spaces, and I'm going to type union plus all plus select plus we are going to give some random numbers to find the columns of the database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add as much as numbers I can, just to get an error from the database, and followed by minus minus and a plus. I'm going to execute this query, and it says the use select statements have a different number of columns, which means we may have more or less columns in the URL. To resolve that, what we are going to do is by reducing the numbers, we are going to find the exact columns of the database. The errors is same, and now we have the database. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so it means there are 7 columns available in the database, and we are going to add the vulnerable columns are 4 1 7. So that means we can insert a query in this fields. So I'm going to select one as the user name of the persons, and for the password, from the table. Here I have used analytics users. So this is the query. I'm going to retrieve the username and the password from analytics user in these fields. Now I'm going to click enter. Now you can see all the usernames and the passwords of the that is in the database is displayed here. So Moses username and the password, Alicia and the password, and here you can see the password. Now we are going to check one of the password. Now we are going to check with Alicia's username and password. So this is how we can bypass login and we can do some SQL injections. And we need to learn one more thing, like the SQL injection exploits a security vulnerability in an application software. For example, when the user input is either incorrectly filtered for literal escape characters embedded in SQL statements, or the user input is not configured with security precautions, we can expect these kind of unexpected executions of SQL injection. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe this channel for more tutorial videos. Thank you.